Good morning. Good morning. Starting to stream a little early this morning just because I'm awake. So, may as well start it. See, we kind of opened up overnight here, traded down, and then just kind of traded down here at open, created a new low, created a new high. Then we created a higher low, another higher low, and then a new high. So I'd expect this to probably trade back down in the short term. At some point, we can zoom out here. Yeah, I'd expect us to probably trade back down kind of in the short term. Who knows what happens in the long term? It's not for us to say. We're going to be trading the funded account here on the left and the challenge account on the right. We need about $2,000 more on the challenge account. So potentially may be able to get that this morning. We'll see. The ES is hanging out at that 44.50 area. It tested the 44.44 overnight here. That's kind of the next support area. So as long as it's holding that 44.44 area, we remain kind of bullish there on the ES. Still pushing up here. So we're just going to be looking for something to interest us. Let's see, what do I need? We need exactly 2,000. Well, 1950. So if we get a nice setup, I mean, that's 10 handles with 10 contracts is 2,000. So maybe we can get that going. I mean, that'd be, ideal, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. There's always the flip side of that. You take 10 contracts in the entry and you could be down $2,000. So you never know. Could go both ways there. Could go both ways. So I have to be prepared for that. Is that something we're willing to risk? See how much my confidence is in the move, and then we'll know. This thing's just pushing on up higher, right up into the 30s. Kind of expect a turn back down at some point here. It's kind of what we're looking for. Move back in the other direction. And then we will look for us some sort of an entry. One way or the other there. Crossed over 100 subscribers yesterday, or last night. I did a little short 100 subscriber stream. And we got it there, so pretty happy with that. I think we were at 101 this morning when I got up, so appreciate that. Certainly appreciate anyone who has subscribed. Support the channel. It helps out. All right, so pushing through this 36 area here. Let me take a look. While we're waiting here, try some stuff out. Oh, excuse me. Kind of getting a pullback here now. Pulling back into this 30 level. Kind of feels like we'll at least kind of repaint this imbalance here at the 25 level. Just kind of watching here to see what happens. Feel like we're at least going to pull back into that 25 level there. We are down a little bit in the funded account there. Starting, I think we're down $320. Starting off the night there, or the morning. I'll take a little short here, maybe down to this 25 area. Just a little 5-handle scalp possible. Just going to risk $60 on this. Stops at break even. Not really moving quickly, but probably going to get stopped out. Yeah, it's followed that way too close. But I don't know, just not trusting it, even though feels like it's going to trade down through the 25s. And there's 27. See if we can make it all the way down there. Probably. If you guys are interested in trading futures, we have the coupon code for 80% off Apex, the banner above, with the link in the description. If you're interested, you get 80% off. So I didn't quite make it to that 25 area. Kind of working on this new strategy I'm learning here. Still not very good at it. So I don't know, I'm just looking at it here, see what we it's kind of this ABC strategy. Thinking this would be your A leg, your B. So you have kind of a higher volume, then a low volume C, which would mean it would be easy to kind of flip it short. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not great at it yet. I have a hard time recognizing what's what. So, but that'll come with time. Let's make sure you guys can see that P&L there, starting off with $7 big. Let's go. $7. Excuse me. Well, we're just kind of waiting for something to happen here. To pique our interest, I'm kind of thinking that we're going to get a pullback. Just thinking we would repaint that 25 level. Has not happened yet. All right, let's see. Not too much going on right now. See if we can just kind of wait. I mean, it's just kind of stagnant right now. Not really anything going on. Kind of thinking we might get a pullback here. So we're just kind of waiting, hanging out until something happens. What are you guys up to this morning? Is anybody trading? Are we waiting? Anybody up, down, even? If you're new here, we got the funded account on the left, the challenge account on the right. We're about $2,000 short on the challenge account, so try to get a winner in today. Not necessarily looking for the 2,000 unless it presents itself. And then obviously on the funded, we're just going to be looking for 10 handle move. I thought about taking 2 contracts on the funded account for the trade setup today. We might do that. If we do take 2 contracts, then obviously we'll take one off at 10 handles and then see what happens with that runner, potentially leaving on a runner. So really that just, depends on the setup, how much we believe in it, that sort of thing. If it's kind of easy to read. If it's easy to read, who knows? We did end up crossing over the 100 subscribers yesterday, so I appreciate that from you guys. Still got a ways to go. No, 100 subscribers is not much to some people, but You have to start somewhere. You guys can't hear my music, right? I'm listening to some music this morning. Don't want to be getting copyright. I don't think you can hear it. Still pushing up here into that 38 level. Don't really know how high this can go. See, I'm just not, I don't know. I'm kind of missed this, you know, kind of a, oh, well, how do you stop it? Oh, no, there we go. It's kind of like an A, B, C setup. I think I kind of get muddied in this little middle area when it's not clean. So A, B, C. Should probably be shorting right here. I don't know. Still kind of working on that. Not super familiar with it. Just trying to kind of a higher high, higher low, higher high. Hey, there's my alarm to wake up. We're already awake. Already awake. You guys ever had that happen where you just can't sleep, so you just get up? Could not sleep, so may as well just get up. What is this? I don't even know what this is. 20. Okay. Oops. I accidentally hit remove. Ah, well, it's all right. Put it back on there, I guess. Usually have mine red. I don't know why that one's yellow. That's why it was kind of confusing me. Trying to see. I was having problems getting the VWAP to show up on these Trade of 8. I don't quite know why. It's strange. I get it on my Top Step account, no problem. But the Trade of 8 account, it doesn't show up for whatever reason. I can't find it. under the indicators. It's not the end of the world, but I do like to know where the VWAP is, especially on the 3-minute chart. 3 minutes. So it's at 15,195. Looks like. Let's pull the ES up so we can keep up with it on the ES as well. You guys have any issues with that? If any of you are using Trade-Evate where you can't find the VWAP indicator? So strange that it's like that. So when I go into my indicators, you know, it's usually under one of these. I don't even know. I think it's usually under volume based. I can't find it under any of these, and I know I've downloaded it before. Relative volume, nope. Channels, nope. And then if you go explore your community indicators and you type in VWAP, so I'm looking for just the normal VWAP, just the blank VWAP. Ticky VWAP, anchored VWAP, we don't want any of those. We just want the normal VWAP. Can't find it. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but I can't find it. So anyways, starting to get a little pullback here into that 31 level. Just kind of waiting here, see what happens. Need to kind of get thinking we get a little bit of, you know, looking for a market structure shift in the other direction here, potentially. So I don't know. I can't find that VWAP on there. So I don't know why that is. Got no idea. So anyways, I have to use the Top Step account to kind of keep up with it. It's not the end of the world, but I'm not always using that Top Step account. I got it pulled up right now. Still in a little drawdown on that account. I normally trade that one during the New York session. Kind of split these up. Some accounts I trade during New York. I don't know. I was thinking about linking them, doing the trade copier, but haven't done it yet. Looks like it wants that 25 level. Possible move back into this 15 level. Will be kind of nice. We'll just kind of see what happens here. We are going to be kind of looking for the silver bullet setup this morning. The criteria for the silver bullets pretty simple. You're looking for a sweep of liquidity. So we got that here. We took out the low here. Then we took out the high. So we took out the sell side liquidity. You can see those equal lows that were kind of resting down here. Took that out, kind of created two more equal lows, and then shifted up to the upside here, taking out the liquidity up here. So my anticipation would be a market structure shift back to the downside. leaving us some sort of PD array for an entry, and then we will enter short for our 10 to 15 handles. 10 handles immediately. We'll take kind of the low-hanging fruit, and then beyond that, we'll see if we can't get a runner going. So one thing I have been noticing with the silver bullet setup, I kind of covered this in my couple of videos ago, but if you haven't watched it, it is kind of offering what I would consider 2 entries. And so what I mean by that is it's kind of, you know, giving you a chance twice to get in most of the time. So it doesn't always work that way, but most of the time. Just kind of going back. So 3 a.m. last night, or yesterday morning. We kind of got faked out on the first move yesterday morning. I think I took a short. Took a short right here. Thinking this thing would my initial assessment was that we were going to be bullish. And then I took a short for this little pullback into this area. I was looking at this gap here, thinking we would just kind of trade back into the 93 area. So I took a short for the pullback into the 93. And then I was thinking that we were going to make a bullish move. But somewhere along the lines, I changed my bias during the short. I was like, okay, this looks like a market structure shift. So then I tried to take another short entry somewhere in here. I think right here at 101 in the 100 level. And you can see we just kind of got wrecked on that. But the actual, setup was the move up. See it on the 1 minute chart a little better here. So this is where I kind of took this short, thinking that we would trade back down into this gap. Not paying attention to this gap here that you can see. That gap there with that volume imbalance. So as it do, it comes right back into this gap, repaints this volume imbalance, blast out of there. So it didn't really offer 2 entries in that session. But the previous 3, I found that it kind of revisits it twice. And the second time, it kind of makes a bigger move there. So got about 5 minutes here before the before we cross over 3 a.m. Going to be a little more careful this morning. I kind of got faked out on that first move yesterday. So not going to let that happen this morning. We're going to wait for confirmation, maybe even wait for that second entry instead of taking the first one, but we'll see. So if we do get a quick flush here, we're going to be aware, and we'll go ahead and mark it out. Because while I do think, like I said, ultimately that this is going to trade down, doesn't mean that it won't trade down to just trade back up. So let's kind of mark out our gaps here so that we know they're there and we don't overlook them. You may say, well, what gap would you use? Well, you could usually just simply say the furthest one away, right? Is the one that's going to make the most immediate sense. There's a very small gap there. I'm not going to outline that one. Or if you really wanted to know kind of where the market, the market's going to seek a discount, you can mark out the top to the bottom of this move And whichever gap is in the discounted area. So this gap is kind of in the discounted area, but I would probably look for this one. So a possible move back into this 95 level before we pop out of there is what we're thinking. So it's kind of going to be our idea for this setup. We'll see if we can get a move back into the 95 before we pop out of there. But, you know, if we get some displacement and then it leaves us some sort of PD array, we could take a short. And just being aware of this 95 area, 98 area, I guess, actually, that it could bounce here. So we may take a short back into this zone, and then we'll just be aware. Could trade right through it and go to the low of day, but just kind of marking out key areas. I don't really see anything else. It's too crazy. Of course, you can mark these out on the 1 minute chart, but those gaps are going to kind of be in the same general vicinity. Here's that lower one, 98. And then you got this one here. You can see they're in the same general area. Do have one up here a little higher here on the 1 minute, but that is one there as well, but I don't think that one's going to hold anything. We should probably trade right through that. So we cross over 3 o'clock here. We may get a little push up, maybe into that 50 area. I think the pivot is at the 62. Let's take a look if I remember right. Yeah, 262 is where the next pivot to the upside is. So possible move up into that. Maybe up into that 38 area before we kind of might push that 40. But so it's kind of what we're looking for there. We'll see what happens. Kind of trading at the top of this high to high range right now. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and feel free to chat. Got to stay awake somehow. All right, here we go. 3 a.m. Like I said, I'm going to kind of be careful here. I've noticed in that first 10 to 15 minutes that I sometimes get faked out on the silver bullet. So we're going to kind of be aware of that. I'm going to make it be obvious to us. So let's see what happens here. We're going to make it scream at us. This is it. This is what we want. So I'm going to be very aware of this first move down here that we've been faked out before. So let's just pay attention to these gaps that are already in place and see how price reacts to these gaps. So kind of getting some displacement back to the downside. We didn't really get that push up that we were thinking we might get there at open, but that's okay. Didn't need it. We'd already swept that high anyway. And normally I would probably be looking at this going, all right, we swept this swing low, but I kind of want some confirmation here. Just like I said, being fully aware that this first kind of displacement is sometimes a fake out. So we do have a small gap here. So I really want to see it trade through this 15 level. Test this gap, which is about the 50% level. This 15,210 area. So potential bounce zone there in this 210 area, but we'll see. If this leaves us a gap, kind of before it gets to that 210 area. So in other words, if it trades down maybe to 214, 213, and then trades back up, then we'll take a short and ride it to this area, down to the 212. But if it just trades right into this zone, then we have to just be aware that this could just bounce out of here and continue higher. I mean, ultimately, my thought is it trades down to this bottom gap, but who knows? Let's see how it reacts to this kind of 14 area. This is what I want to see. I want to see it kind of bounce back up into this gap area here before it takes that. So if it doesn't trade into that gap, I'll take a little short here. Targeting that kind of, we'll target that 13 area. Actually, let's target that area there. And the reason I feel okay with taking this short if it doesn't trade into this gap is because it's not yet repainted this imbalance here. So that leads me to believe it's going to come back and do that. And, you know, ultimately, like I said, I do think we trade down and then maybe move back up. So I feel okay with this entry. But we will just target one contract there. And we'll just take 10 points on the, well, we'll keep it kind of consistent here. Where's my stop need to be? 33.50. Well, actually, we could tighten that stop up a little bit. 31.75. So what is that? 6 handles. All right, maybe since that's such small risk, we can target 2 here. Again, guys, I am aware that I said that we want to be careful on this first move, but I do believe that it is ultimately going to trade down. Well, I guess I did miss that gap right there, but I don't see how this leaves this imbalance. Didn't trade through it, did it? No. So we'll see what happens here. Kind of one ticked us there. We were like one tick away from getting filled short. All right, about to be tagged in here. Trying to be as patient as I can. Trading back up into the 3-minute gap here now. So we want to see it respect this gap. It's kind of funny. Well, it's not funny, but it is funny. I literally said that first move usually fakes me out, that I was just going to be careful and not take it. And that's what I did. Although, to be honest, there is there's that other gap up here. A bit of a volume imbalance. That might have been the one we should have been paying attention to there. I guess that did repaint that volume imbalance. Well, it's not the way you want to start off the day, but we'll give ourselves one more entry. My idea was, I didn't really think this is the silver bullet. I was thinking we would just ride this down, to this gap, possibly this gap. Ride the short down. Might have just had my stop too tight there. That's frustrating. It literally 1 point above where our stop was. Let's add the stop just a little too close there. Kind of wanted to re-enter short here, but we're going to wait. We are going to wait. That is a little bit frustrating. I guess I should have had my stop at the top of the candle that created the first candle. Sometimes NQ does like to paint outside the lines a little bit here, so could have been what that was there. Kind of watching the ES here along with the NQ, just seeing what we got going on there. ES kind of bouncing off that 44.50 area. I was going to try to be patient here. My idea, like I said, I didn't think this was a silver bullet setup. I'm thinking we're going to trade down and then bounce up, and that'll be the setup. But I kind of wanted to ride this down to one of these gaps and at least get my 10 points out of it, 25 to 15, that sort of thing. I almost want to just re-enter here. We'll wait. I'm not certain. You're never certain in trading, but pretty sure it's going to come back probably to this gap here. Would make the most sense. Got a couple of volume imbalances here. It's going to kind of want to repaint, and then you got the gap. So I don't know. I'm thinking of reducing size here. Then maybe we can take this on this account. Maybe get some of it back. Stop will be at break even here since we did kind of break that swing low there. Kind of locking in a little profit here as we go. My math's a little off here. All right, that's 5 handles, I believe. $200. Don't want to see that push on through there. Yeah, that's okay. We'll take that. Didn't take it on both of them just because, you know, confidence wasn't 100%. I mean, we think, right? You think you know kind of what's going to happen, but you don't know for sure. Probably trailed that down a little too close too, considering pretty certain it's going to trade down to the 12 at least. Probably going to be coming all the way down to this 200 level here. This could bounce out of this first gap and kind of move higher. I don't think I'm going to take that just because this is not quite into the discount area. This is much nicer in the discount area. So I'd rather take an entry here at the 98. Maybe for that move back up. So that's kind of the idea at this point. If any of you guys are interested in using a prop firm for trading, do have a discount code for Apex there in the banner, link in the description. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe, helps the channel. VWAP is also down there at the 15,200. So kind of right in this area. So that's kind of the idea here. We may actually just place our order at the 200. Let this thing trade back down to the VWAP. Get a nice quick bounce out of there. For 10, maybe 15 handles. So this actually got quite a few things kind of lining up there. You got the whole number. You got the fair value gap. You got the volume imbalance and the VWAP all resting right here in this area. So kind of makes sense. Really frustrated with myself because I honestly didn't see that fair value gap there. Should have marked that one out too. This thing literally traded right back up into that and then boom. So if it does trade back up into that area again, we will take the short. So that's kind of the idea. If it trades back up into this 32, we'll enter short for the move down to this 12 area. But kind of thinking this is just going to sell back down here. But that's kind of the idea, what we're looking for there. This thing's not moving so much this morning. Just sitting here waiting for something to happen. All right, I want to see it trade through that 15 area, sweep that swing low there, and this, like I said, see how price reacts to that next gap that we got marked out there. I don't really have any intentions of taking a long from there. I think, like I said, I'd like to see this thing trade down into this 200 area. I think it'll overshoot the VWAP a little bit there. Just kind of watching here, making sure I'm not overlooking anything. Yes, there is a lower gap here that's even more in the discount area. I guess that's the same one, 98. Yeah, it's the same one. Stop's going to be there anyway, 82. So unfortunately, quite a wide stop, but so I kind of broke that swing low there. Very, very slow though, very sluggish. A little bit of a painful price action this morning. Kind of painful. Not moving very much. Sure, we'll get going eventually. Well, just trying to wait and see. Be patient here. Again, if this thing trades back up into that 30 area, we'll take a short. Especially if it does that before it takes those, before it makes it to the fair value gaps there. Kind of the bullish ones. Let's take a look at the ES while we're waiting. Let's see what that thing is looking like. Yeah, we've had a decent structure shift to the downside on the ES, looking like it might sell off here. Let's kind of see what happens here. I mean, this kind of structure, I mean, it looks like we could potentially take a short here, but where I'd have to put my stop, I don't like it. So, you can see we have a small gap. Small gap here that it just traded back up into, and that's kind of what the ES is doing. Something very similar. Small gap there, kind of traded back up into it. Now it's pushing down. So could have took a short from the 21. I just don't like how close we are to this gap, even though my gut instinct says that it's not going to respect this gap. I think we're going to trade through there, come down to here, but oh, let's see. It's considering. was considering if it came back up in there, we may take an entry, but let's just wait. Yes, we'll give this a try. This kind of breaks through that low area, then I'll probably take this off. All right. At that point, we don't love it. So let's see how this kind of reacts to this gap here. Like I said, I kind of want to see it trade right through it, come down to this one. Maybe test this VWAP here at the 200 level. It's kind of the idea. Didn't really tick into that gap yet. It's one tick away from it. Oh man, this price action is just making me sleepy. Sad thing is, the idea for this initial entry was, we're targeting this kind of 12, 13 area. And I put my stop above the one tick above the candle that created the gap. Guess it should have been one tick above candle number one. Guess we'll keep that in mind for next time. This would have been, instead of losing, we would have got our full take profit. But so it's kind of trading back into a big bullish gap on the 15-minute chart there, but it's feels like it should be possibly testing that 200 area. Seems reasonable. It's just a slow grind down. Not a real clean, easy run here. Almost makes you want to just get short here and just hold it for this move back into the 200 level. Feels like that could be something. Well, kind of bouncing out of this gap area now. Taking a quick look over here at the ES. Interesting look here on the ES. The ES is looking like I want to take a long, to be honest. The ES traded back into a premium. Kind of popping out of there. Almost wanted to take a long just based off of that, but I don't know. Problem is, if I take the entry now, you know, it's probably going to trade down to this 200 level. So that's kind of the issue there. I'd like to see it kind of flush through this 05 area and give us some confidence that it's going to move down to that 200 level. VWAP sitting at 202 right now. So I think do we just put our order at 202 or do we go straight 200 here? I think we go 200. We look for 10 handles here. Just maybe a quick bounce right off of that 200 level. That's what I'm thinking. Stop's really going to have to be down here in this low 80 area, which I'm not in love with, but we'll see how it reacts to the 200 level. I would imagine with everything that we got going on here, the whole number, the fair value gap, you know, the VWAP, should be a pretty hard bounce out of here. At least that's the idea anyway. That's the idea. Kind of holding up at that gap right there for now. Ultimately, that gap does not, I mean, I guess it technically isn't a discount. I think around in this area was the discount price, just past 50, but this one is well in discount. So I was thinking we could get this trade down to this one. So let's just see what happens. Change this up a little bit. I'm just going to do 2 and 1. This way we can leave a runner a runner on there. If it bounces out of there super hard, guess we can kind of do the same thing over here. Something like that, I guess. If I don't get the entry down here at the 200, then we just don't get it. Not, you know, I want my entry where I want it on this particular setup, so. I'm normally not really patient, as you can see on that first trade, after I said that I wasn't going to take it. Even though I feel like that trade was valid, the stop just wasn't quite where I probably should have put it at. But kind of idea here is, you know, like I said, there's a lot of reasons for this to bounce in that 200 area. Trying to make its way through that gap now. Kind of getting held up at that order block right there. It's holding that gap so far. ES traded back down to 45.75, kind of bouncing out of there a little bit. Kind of think the ES may trade down into that 44.75 area. If it does that, I think that'll take us down to our 200 entry. The VWAP is now sitting at 202. It's my only concern. A lot of times it will bounce right off the VWAP, but hopefully it can trade through it a little bit there, just 2 points. Not asking much. If it ever gets down to it, I mean, after all, we are approaching the 4 o'clock hour here. Looks like the play was probably most definitely a short. I mean, if you see here, had this gap here, market structure shifted to the downside, traded right back up into it, creating this order block. Trades right back up into the order block. So if I was going to take a short, I mean, in hindsight, it's easy to see now. You get short there at 27. You know, if we trade down to 200, then that's 27 handles. Easy to see in hindsight there, but not so much in real time. I mean, we did enter short here. Normally I have a, 8 to 10 handle stop, but I don't know. I don't know why I didn't put my stop right there. I mean, it would have been safe right there. Oh well, can't dwell on it. Well, this thing's holding up this order block pretty solid so far. I think it'll get through there ultimately. Should get through there, I'd imagine. I might even change this on this one to this here. We'll do this the same. Just kind of take what I would consider low-hanging fruit here, bounce off the 200 to 05 to 010 to 2010 should be pretty decent chance that happens. All right, so the body of that last candle kind of closed below the 50% of that order block, kind of leading me to believe it's probably going to continue to push down here. It is about 3 minutes from the top of the hour here, so let's see what happens. See if we can't get this quick push down into this 200, tag us in. Hopefully this thing doesn't bounce right off the O2s, but it very well could. The VWAP is right here, right where it's at now. So just looking for a little push through there. Getting held up right now at the O2 level. It might just not get through there, holding up here at the O2s. Just want a quick little trade down and tag us in here right quick. Well, it's trying. The problem is, like I said, the VWAP's right there. I just want a small overshoot. 2 points. Don't really want to take it higher because this is just the idea that I have for this trade here. So see if we can't get pushed down here and get tagged in. Hasn't bounced out of there yet, so I guess that's the positive thing. Come on. All right, we should be tagged in now. Now we want to see a bounce. Like I said, we got a lot of reasons here why this should bounce in this area, so we'll see what happens. Guess we could have indeed gotten a little better entry there. Just kind of watching it here. Really want to see it bounce here. Want to see it hold that midway level of that gap. Kind of right there where that 95 is. Want to see the bodies respect that area. Really like to see it push on back up. If the bodies start to trade through there, then it's, you know, probably going to kill it. But I'd like to see a quick bounce back up out of here. Do those 05s. Kind of watching that midway level. Well, that didn't even give us a chance to kill it or to move our stop. Like I said, stop probably needed to be down there at the 83s, but this thing's just selling. We were just completely off sides there. Going for the low a day now. Well, that's going to do it for me this morning. I'll be back live for the New York session at 9:30 a.m. We'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching.